All right, good morning, everybody. July 5th, Tuesday. Hope everybody enjoyed their holiday. All right, so let's do an initial scan here and see what we have coming up here. It looks like we're starting off, well, no, silver's already started. Possible buy coming into natural gas. Going to be watching for that. All right, so let's just briefly take a look to see what we're going to be trading this morning. Those that are joining us on YouTube and Facebook, thank you. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put in the little chat window. I'll try to get to your questions here if we don't get too busy. Also, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about my strategy, it is different, it is unique. You can go to my YouTube channel, Binary Pro Strategies, or you can go to my website, binaryprostrategies.com. Also, just a quick announcement, we will be making a name change. We will no longer be binaryprostrategies.com. We'll be going to Innovative Trading Strategies. This way we can expand into looking at stocks and also futures, which is real exciting. So that change will be coming soon. If you're on our email list, you get notified of that. And we'll have a whole new website, so we'll also include that link as well. All right, so let's see. Okay, so let's just take a look at some of the symbols here we're going to be trading. Once again, ES represents on the chart, it's going to be the mini S&P 500. We're also going to be watching RTY. That's going to be your mini Russell. YM, which is going to be your mini Dow, and of course the NQ mini Nasdaq. Also be watching on the future side gold, GC, silver, crude oil, natural gas, and Bitcoin. And then for Forex, we'll be watching the Aussie US, Euro US, and the US yen. Be looking at two different strategies. These strategies can be applied to any market that you're trading. So, but for the indices and the futures, we're going to be using Einstein, which basically provides us with an exact entry, a profit target, and a reversal if we don't hit profit target. If we have to reverse, it will provide us with a new profit target. Reversals happen approximately a little bit less than 30%. So 70% of the time we will hit profit target before reversal. As far as trading our core, called the core strategy, we'll be using those with the currencies. So Aussie US, Euro US, US yen. Those trades basically is once we get into the trade, we hold it for anywhere between 4 to 5 minutes, and then we get out of the trade. So right now I'm just looking at everything. I am beginning to see a buy coming up on natural gas, so let's take a look at that. Okay, buying the natural gas. Profit target on natural gas going to bring us up to $54.95. And if we don't hit target, we need the reverse. We're going to reverse at $53.45. And if we do hit profit, you will hear this. Profit target hit. Once you hear that, you know that we've hit profit. All right, so far this morning we just started off now long on natural gas. We're looking for a target of 54.95. All right. Hi, nothing on the indices yet. Don't see anything on gold or silver. Bitcoin's already started off this morning already on a short. Possible short coming up on the US yen. You see that little red little caret down there. These carets represent possible entries. Not every single caret is going to actually be an actual executable entry. We have to wait for some additional information. But right now, it does look like we are setting up for a short on the US yen. That is going to be part of the core package, which includes what we call behavioral patterns. It's one of 5 of the behavioral patterns. Potential short, give it another few minutes here. If this holds, we'll go ahead and we'll short this next 5 minutes. Hey, John, good morning. Hope you enjoyed your holiday. It was a nice 4th of July. How about you? Okay, so right now, the only thing we have on right now is this long play on the natural gas. Still looking for a target of 54.95. Ah, good. Yeah, one of the things that I encourage all of our students here that purchase the core package or any of our packages, that they go back and historically take a look at them. Build up the confidence to realize these patterns do work and they do hold up. And they will, I don't believe they're going to fail us because they are based on very predictable human behavior. So as long as humans continue to act like humans, then we should be in good shape. But yeah, back testing is I think almost essential because you have to believe in the tools that you're trading. If you don't have confidence in the tools that you're trading, you can't trade. I mean, there's just no way. And just because something worked over the last 30 days doesn't mean it's going to work over the over the next, 2-3 years. So checking it out, looking at the patterns, running it across multiple markets, right? That's the beauty of these patterns. I call them universal. I've been using them now for over 30 years. Been a trader for 40. Found them 30 years ago. And they continue to hold up any market that I look at trading. So that's why we're going to be expanding into looking at stocks and maybe some more futures. All right, not seeing anything here yet. Looking for a lower opening on the Dow. Didn't quite get my short yet on that yen. Still waiting on that yen. US yen. And this strategy is a lot easier. Well, the thing is that it's easy. All right. And so the thing about trading is you want to eliminate as much, not only distractions, but you want to narrow down your decision making process, right? So that's a problem with indicators. Not only does any single indicator not hold up, but every time you put something on your screen, particularly you see these screens where they have 4 or 5 indicators, every single one of those is just adding in another decision you have to make. And that's the problem. You can't make trading too complicated. You've got to keep it simple as you possibly can. And that's the beauty of what I do. I have one. It's basically one parameter. A pattern is a single parameter. There is no other guesswork. It's either is or it's not. Now, there are other factors that we look at. But as far as entry price and exit, that's the key. You don't want that to be subjective. I mean, you do want it to be pretty much kind of set in stone where you're going to be getting in and getting out. Unless you're, a scalper. And we can definitely scalp. But if we're scalping, our approach is we're going to take, smaller risks on our entries and hopefully, have a 3, 4, 5 to 1 profit to loss ratio when we take those scalping trades. Not always, but depending on what kind of conditions the market's in. But anyway, keeping your decision-making process, making it simple as far as entries and exits is a big plus when it comes to trading. You want to eliminate distractions. I recommend when people trade, not listen to the news. Don't be listening. You're going to have information overload. All right. You don't need all that information. Besides, most of what you hear on TV or on the news or anything else, I mean, you can't listen to that. It's not going to really help you in your trading. All right. Positive news doesn't mean the market's going to go up. Negative news doesn't mean the market's going to go down. It's usually just the opposite. And that's where most people fall into the trap, is they listen to everything. They follow the crowd, and we know that 98% is probably higher than that of traders lose money. So you don't want to be following the crowd. You want to be contrarian in a sense in the way that you think. So just ignore that. Everything's reflected in price. If there's positive news and the market's going down, why do you want to be buying it? It's going down, right? Or it's going up, and you get, you get a negative news. I mean, it's going up, right? So the market's gonna go where it wants to go. You can see it in price, and there are clues of what it wants to do, and that's where behavioral patterns come in, right? It's just like anything else. If you have a chance, watch our video we put together. It was a webinar. Sorry, I can't talk. A webinar. and I go into a little bit more of the details of what we do with core. And not only that is the way that we look at the markets. That's the key. It's how do I look? What is the market to me? I see things a little bit differently than most people do. I think the market's kind of almost like it's like a hologram, right? A lot of people believe in fractals. It's in a sense, it's the same thing in a sense, but different. So to me, markets are more of a hologram, and as long as you understand the inputs, you can get predictable outputs. And I know it works because it's been working for the last 30 years. So the idea is unique. Also, when it comes to trading Einstein, markets tend to reflect its movement, if that makes sense. So in other words, a 100-point move has a certain pattern that is developed, and so the next time we see that particular pattern, it's going to tell us that we're going to have another 100% move, right? Or 100-point move, I should say. Just like a 50-point move is going to have its pattern, and it's also going to, when we see that pattern develop, it's also going to project a 50-point move. All right, so you haven't heard this stuff before, I guarantee you. So why is that important? Well, gosh, if I'm trading a stock and I'm looking for $5 moves, I'm going to wait for that $5 pattern to develop. And when it does, I'm going to take my position. And of course, Einstein does give me not only the idea of the move itself or the size of the move, but also the direction. And I would say, 30% of the time, as I mentioned, a little bit less than 30%, because over all the things that we looked at, it's running anywhere between 72, 73% of the time I'm going to hit my target. But you have what they call inversions, so sometimes you have an inversion in the market where that 100-point move may not be going up as projected, but that's only 30% of the time. So that being said, it's a very, very powerful tool. So me as a trader, I'm looking for those bigger moves, then I'm going to look for those particular patterns. That's part of Einstein. All right, so we just got out of natural gas. Now, once again, natural gas, that was an Einstein trade, so it did hit profit target. And so out of gas. So that's a real good example of Einstein, is waiting for that particular size move in natural gas, and sure enough, it hit it with a nice little profit. So started off today with one Einstein trade. Getting a short now. Well, it's too late. Gosh, I've been talking. I missed a short. There was a nice short on the yen. Let's take a look at the yen real quick here. Yeah, that would have been a 79 short on the yen. It's all right. Sometimes you miss them. But anyway, that little red caret down there indicated a short on the next bar, which we're in right now. So you hold it up, like I said, depending on when you get in, 4 to 5 minutes. Then you get out here in about 30 seconds, say, and then you just exit your trade. Getting a double buying on the Aussie US. Now, if you look at the Aussie US, you can see those double carats. Once again, another pattern for core. Indicated a short coming up on the Aussie US. And it's going to put you at a 77 short on the Aussie US. 67.77. And this is part of core. This is part of the core package. Oh, that's good, John. You said you did a lot of back testing. Yeah, you excited? Yeah, Jerry, I was so busy talking that I wasn't able to jump in on that yen, so I missed the yen. But more importantly, I'm glad that you caught it. All right, so that's great. You guys are watching your charts. Yeah, I mean, Ken, very good question. Two different approaches. I mean, really, um, sorry, I'm watching this Aussie US here. It's looking good. Um, yes and no. I mean, I core is really going to be based more off of time, where Einstein adds in that additional factor of size. Okay, so that can be predetermined based on the pattern. So if, like I said, let's say let's just say like you're looking for if you're looking for a 4 pip, let's say you're looking for a 4 pip move or 10 pip move, right, on one of the currency pairs, forex. I just wait for that particular pattern to develop. All right. So the larger that move is, the longer it's going to take time to develop, and you're going to be holding on to that trade longer. All right. So where core is more about the pattern itself setting up, and it does have a high accuracy of hitting its of being a winning trade based on the fact that you're holding on to it for no more than 4 to 5 minutes. So sometimes those moves are really large, and sometimes those moves are really small, but the accuracy stays the same, right? Where with Einstein, you're adding that level of size, and you're still going to be somewhere in that middle 70% of the time, 75% of the time, where you're going to be hitting those targets. And as I've mentioned, the best really somebody's going to be able to do over a long period of time in terms of predictability, or the maximum you can expect, is really somewhere in the 70-75%. All right. It's just not possible to be consistently sitting at 80-90% because there's a noise in the market, right? Now, yes, I've had days where it's been 100%, but I've had days where, excuse me, where it wasn't 100%. So it really, you have to look at these things as in large numbers, right? So in large numbers, that's about the best you can expect. I mean, you're pretty much maxed out in terms of how much you can expect to have in terms of your percentages of profitability, somewhere in that 70-75%. The rest of it is noise. You can't predict it. So when I hear somebody saying they're constantly hitting at 80, 85, 90%, I mean, it's just, yeah, maybe you did it over the last few days, but you're certainly not going to be able to do it over a long period of time. So anyway, so we're maxed out, in terms of that. But then again, keep in mind, I don't want people to get the impression that just because you're hitting at 70, 80, 90%, that you're going to, that all of a sudden you're magically going to make money. It sure gives you a huge advantage, right? But it still gets down to the individual. Because when in people's minds, when they're thinking 70%, that euro was a nice win. So got out of the euro. I'm sorry, on the Aussie, got out of the Aussie. That was a nice, what we call a double pap short. Where was I here? Oh, yeah. So, hold on just one second. I want to make sure that we're not getting anything over here in the metals. Okay, so I don't want somebody to think that just because you're hitting at, a high percentage rate, that means, 3 out of the next 10 trades are going to be, 7 are going to be winners out of the next 10 trades. It doesn't work that way. We're looking at large numbers, so it may be, it may take 20 trades. You may have 14 out of 20 trades, to hit those percentages. So that's really what we're looking at. You're looking at those larger numbers. Now, what is interesting about percentages is there are patterns within the percentages, right? So if you're tracking along, let's say you're hitting at 70-some%, and you have a loss, what is that? Does that set up a percent? Does that give you another edge for the next trade to be, a winning trade because you've had a loss? Yes and no. Not always, but under certain conditions, that can be an indication that that next trade is going to be a winner. And I show that in my stats when you get the package. I show you those numbers to show you that how you can use that information to give an idea of the probability of the next trade being a winner instead of a loser, right? So that's something that I go through. But don't get confused to thinking that just because you had 2 losses, the next trade is going to be a winner. Not always the case. In fact, that's typically not the case at all. So anyway, that being said, I kind of got off talking about stuff. But anyway, yeah, so Einstein is really going to be looking for patterns that predict whatever price move I'm looking for. So whether it be a $5 move or a dollar move in a stock, that's what we look for. Core is also behavioral patterns, but they're looking, they're really more, I guess you'd say, time restricted in the sense that we're not going to hold a trade more than 4 or 5 minutes. All right. All right, Dow's going to open here in just a few minutes. Obviously, expecting a lower opening. Yeah, Jerry. How's Jerry this morning? Jerry, you're in East Texas, right? East Texas. It's been hot here. Gosh, we've been in the hundreds, man. It's been crazy. I bet you get the same thing over there, East Texas. All right, Dow's now opening up. Down down 425. Watch those double carrots. See the double green carrots on the yen. That's that hold. Possible setup for a buy coming up here in about another 4 or 5 minutes. God, 101. Isn't that crazy, Jerry? Down 500 now on the Dow. Good morning, Yolanda. So if you look over here on the yen, it already started up. So we're not going to get that double buy on the yen. We would have called that a double pat buy. Didn't develop. Dow's down 535. Yeah, had a great holiday. Thanks for asking. How about yourself? Really nice. Okay, not seeing any patterns develop, so nothing yet. Only thing that looks like still in play is this Bitcoin. I'll go ahead and I'll put a projected low on that Bitcoin. But that trade already started early this morning. If you are short Bitcoin, looks like we want to come down to 191.50 would be a profit target. And then it would reverse. If it doesn't hit target, Bitcoin would reverse at 22.75. All right, still pretty quiet. Still waiting. And, one of the things about trading is you got to be patient. You don't want to rush it. You want to wait for those setups, preferably the stronger setup. So you just have to be patient and wait. So we've had had a few nice trades today. Aussie, we were short. Had a nice trade on the natural gas. Now we just wait to see if we can get another setup here before 9 o'clock. Those that are in the live chat room, continue to stay on. We'll continue on with our looking at Einstein and looking at these targets. Down 560. It looks like this yen wants to break down, come down a little bit more. John Yost, be short the yen. Dow's down 582. Nice, John. Good job. All right, possible buy coming up on the mini Dow. Gonna watch that. Yeah, John, that's a good point. In terms of holding trades, one of the things that we do is we have a process. Core is kind of the beginning class where we teach you the patterns. But more importantly, core teaches you to hold on to a trade instead of just because a trade goes against you doesn't mean it's going to be a losing trade. So what core teaches you is teaches you to hold on to the trade 4 to 5 minutes in length, because whether you're going to be a scalper or any kind of trader, the problem is a lot of people, as soon as they see a little bit of grain, they get nervous and they get out. And then when they're red, they just sit there and they just hold it forever, right? And so, there's a point of which, you're going to lose money every time you go green. Or it'll start off at red and then it goes green. And then as soon as they get green, they've been red for, several minutes. All of a sudden it's green, so I just want to get the heck out of it because I think it's going to go red again on them. So yeah, core teaches you to hold on the trades. Real important lesson to learn is you can't just because it's going against you a little bit doesn't mean that it's time to throw in the towel and get out. Absolutely not. Those opportunities are typically going to be a point where you want to add to a position. And some of the, particularly some of the currencies, you'll see a lot more of that, particularly like the US yen. US yen has a tendency to you get into it, let's say you sell it and it goes right against you pretty quickly. That's usually an indication it's going to be a winning trade. So understanding the personality of the markets that you're trading is real important as well. But yeah, you've got to learn to hold the trade. You got to follow your strategy. You got to work with the percentages. You don't just get out because it's red against you. You've got to learn to hold on to these trades. So anyway, good point, John. All right, Dow's now just down 580, 581. Maybe double buy coming up on the Aussie US. See the double arrows, 2 green arrows, indicate a potential PAP buy, double buy. I may have a double short coming up on the yen. Watch that. I love shorts. I love those shorts, particularly those double shorts. Let's see what we have here. Let's watch that. $75 short. Looks like a 75 short. 135.75 short on the yen. Getting a double buy on the Aussie US. Let's take a look at that. It's going to put you down to a 75 on that one. 75 buy on the Aussie US for a double. So a double buy on the Aussie US, double short on the US yen. Now approaching being down 600 again. All right, possible HF1 short coming up on the mini Nasdaq. Not quite yet. Hey, still have that buy on that Aussie US, getting ready to exit at Aussie US and the US yen. They're going against us right now, so don't think these two trades are going to be winners. On those doubles, doubles were really strong, but once again, not everyone's going to make money. Not everyone's going to be a winner. All right, out of the Aussie US, out of the US yen. Waiting for a possible HF1 short coming in on the mini NASDAQ. Bitcoin still short. Don't have anything else on the other indices. Nothing on gold or silver, nothing on crude, nothing on heating oil, natural gas. All right, so here we are. We're at the top of the hour once again. If you have any questions, please just go to my website, binaryprostrategies.com. Shoot me your questions there, or please check out my other videos on our YouTube channel, Binary Pro Strategies. And until tomorrow, everybody have a great trading day on the Dow. We've got a lot of mixed scans. We have some stocks up, more stocks down. So overall, probably going to end up seeing a down day, but like I said, we still have quite a few of them are up. So anyway, we'll see on that. We'll see everybody first thing in the morning. Thanks for joining us. Have a good trading day. See you tomorrow.